I recently passed my electrical journeyman licensing exam on my first try, and a lot of people have been asking me, hey, what's your advice? What are your tips for passing this thing? So I figured I'd make a little list and give you guys the tips that helped me pass on my first try. Number one, understand the scope of your exam. Understand how many questions it is, how long you have to take it, what you're allowed to bring into the exam room with you, if anything. In my state, you're not allowed to bring anything. They give you a code book, they give you a calculator, they give you scratch paper. So in my state, they don't allow you to take anything into the exam room, aside from a bottle of water. So understand what you're allowed to take in, understand how long you have to take it, and how many questions there are going to be. When you're studying for any electrical exam, it doesn't matter if you're in what state you're in, any electrical exam, you need to go through the code book and make a list of the topics that you don't feel super confident in. Study your weak points. There's not much point in studying your strong points because they're your strong points. You're going to do well on the test with things that you're good at. Go through and study the things that you're not going to be good at. Pay special attention to the tough topics like motors, transformers, grounding and bonding, load calculations, the stuff that everybody doesn't really want to study when they're an apprentice. That's the tough stuff. That's what you're really going to be tested on. You don't need to go through and remind yourself of how far you need to strap MC within distance of the box. You shouldn't, and I say shouldn't, need to go through and remind yourself how to do box fill or conduit fill. I know that stuff is necessary, but really if you've been an electrician apprentice for up to 3, 4, 5 years now, you should know how to do box fill and conduit fill. If you don't, if that's a weak area for you, hit it hard and understand it. It's not that hard to grasp. You should definitely use resources like the Ray Holder books, but it's not that's not what is going to let you pass the test. Nobody's going to learn this material for you. Nobody's going to make you care. You have to actually care, and you have to really study this stuff. It's not high school. You're not just going to memorize a bunch of crap and spit it out. Like, you have to actually comprehend and understand this stuff. And the advice that everybody always gives is, well, the test is just about being able to find stuff in the code book. Yeah, to an extent. But if you're looking at like motor full load, motor FLC tables, how are you going to know which demand factors apply to a continuous or non-continuous duty motor? And how are you going to know to even look for that stuff based on the wording of the question? Because the questions are a little bit more vague than that. They're not going to tell you, oh, this is a variable duty motor or a non-continuous duty motor. Like, no, you have to know that when you're getting a question about a motor, it's not going to tell you if it's continuous duty or not. You have to understand what the types of motors are and what demand factors to apply. So you have to actually care enough to understand this stuff. You're not just going to skate by this test. It's not that easy. Another important thing is get a good night's rest before the exam. Don't be hungover on exam day. Eat a good breakfast and show up prepared. Don't show up late. Don't show up where you're rushing to get checked into the exam center or whatever. Like, show up a little bit early, eat a good breakfast, get some coffee in you. Don't be hungover. Don't drink heavily the previous night. Like, show up with your best face on. Be your best self on that exam day. Give yourself every fighting chance you have. Also, go in with the understanding that, well, in my state, only about 30% of people pass the test on their first try. 7 out of 10 people walk out of there with a failing grade on their exam. And it's not the end of the world, but it is important. You know, you're spending time and money. You're taking time out of your schedule, and the test cost me about $80 to go take. That's not nothing when you're an apprentice. Like, take it seriously. It does matter, but also it's not the end of the world if you don't pass. 7 out of 10 people don't pass. So go in there with the mindset that it's not the end of the world if you don't pass, but really try your best and don't take it lightly. Take it seriously, but don't go home and feel defeated for the next 3 months or whatever while you wait to take it again. Like, it's not the end of the world. I'm very glad I passed my first try, but I wasn't expecting to, if that makes sense. I wasn't expecting to pass my first try. I set my expectations low, but I came in with everything that I had, and I hit it hard, and it kind of surprised me when I passed. So that's not a bad mindset to have.